Here is a camera-centric high-end flagship from Vivo, the Vivo X300 Pro. There are a lot of nice camera phones coming out these days, so does the Vivo X300 Pro have what it takes to compete? And we'll go for GSM Arena and let's find out in our full review. The Vivo X300 Pro is the larger model of the X300 series, though looks-wise it's quite similar to its lower-tier sibling. Besides the screen size, what makes the Pro model worth the extra cash is its upgraded camera system, which includes a cutting-edge main cam and a 200-megapixel telephoto camera. And it even supports an external lens attachment for the telephoto zoom, sold separately. Other changes from last year include a new flagship chipset and a different software interface for the global market. As with previous models, the centerpiece on the backside is the large Zeiss-branded camera island. The back panel here is flat glass with a frosted finish, and it doesn't pick up smudges easily. The flat frame is made of aluminum, and overall the phone feels quite premium in hand. Up near the top of the device sits a hardware button for shortcuts. You can use it to do things like put the phone on ring or silent, launch the camera, or a number of other functions that you can assign in settings. Like last year, the X300 Pro has ingress protection rated at both IP68 and IP69. That's good against dust, water submersion, and heated water jets. Specs-wise, the display of the phone is about the same as last year. It's a 6.78-inch LTPO OLED with a high resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, and armor glass protection. The brightness here is impressive. We measured over 780 nits with the manual slider, and this could boost to over 2100 nits in auto brightness mode. The display looks good too. It's sharp, with a pixel density of 452 ppi, and you get support for goodies like HDR10+ and Dolby Vision video playback, and 10-bit color depth. Because of its LTPO tech, this display's refresh rate is extra adaptive. It uses 120Hz to smooth out swiping and scrolling, and this can dial down to 1Hz when idling to save energy. For audio, the Vivo X300 Pro has stereo speakers, with very good loudness. The sound quality isn't that impressive though compared to other flagships. There's a focus on mids, and the low end is lacking. You can listen for yourself through the comparison tool linked below. You can wake up and unlock the phone using an ultrasonic under-display fingerprint reader. It's well placed and speedy. The X300 Pro can come with 256 or 512 gigs or a whole terabyte of storage, and that's not expandable through microSD. And since the phone has an IR blaster, you can use it to control appliances with. Like I mentioned, the new Vivo phones are using a new interface. It's now Origin OS, which was previously only on Chinese versions of their phones. That's on top of Android 16. Origin OS brings changes in the visuals compared to the previous FunTouch OS, including touched-up icons and font. Another difference is in the animations, and they're customizable in settings. Origin OS does a lot of things like Apple's latest version of iOS. For example, in the control center, the toggles are transparent and bubble-like, with brightened borders. Another iOS-inspired feature is the Origin Island. A black area appears around the selfie cutout, and it shows contextual status information for things like timers and media players. Another feature we've seen before on the iPhones is motion prompts. This is meant to help you against motion sickness by displaying a bunch of dots on the screen that will mirror the motion you're traveling in. There have even been efforts to bridge the gap between Vivo phones and iPhones, and you can wirelessly exchange files between the two. Speaking of connectivity, there's now a Vivo Connection Center, which acts as a hub for all your various connectivity options. There are AI-powered features as well. The phone can do things like proofread and rewrite text, or even generate it from scratch. And there are other AI features, like captions in other languages that can display for you in real time, and AI audio transcription. And there are also AI-powered photo editing tools in the gallery, which can do things like erase objects, or expand photos to a wider field of view. The X300 Pro has promised plenty of software support from Vivo, 5 major OS releases, and 7 years of security patches. A new flagship gets a new top-of-the-line chipset, and here is a Dimensity 9500 from MediaTek. This is the same chipset as the one found in the recent Oppo Find X9 Pro, and it claims to have improvements across the board over the top silicon of the previous generation. In benchmarks, the X300 Pro proved to be a top-class performer. Overall, this is one of the most powerful smartphones around right now. But as usual for these high-powered flagships, there is plenty of thermal throttling when the phone is under prolonged stress. In our testing, we observed a steep decline, down to 50% of peak CPU performance. Now onto the battery life, and that's going to be different depending on where you buy this phone. The model for the European market has a smaller 5,440 mAh battery compared to the 6,510 mAh you get in units sold elsewhere. This move was apparently done for EU regulations, but at the same time, other recent phones are being released in Europe with much larger battery capacities. Anyway, with our European model and its smaller battery, the battery life is solid but nothing special. The X300 Pro earned an active use score of 12 hours and 45 minutes, a score that these days is significantly outclassed by the competition. The vivo X300 Pro supports 90-watt charging with a proprietary adapter, or 55-watt charging with a standard USB power delivery charger with PPS. Believe it or not, the results turned out practically identical with either charger, and the charging times were quite fast. We were able to fully charge our review unit, which has the smaller battery, in less than half an hour. There's also support for wireless charging here. Now on to the cameras. There's a 50-megapixel main cam, a 200-megapixel 3.5x telephoto with close focusing capability, and a 50-megapixel ultrawide cam which has autofocus. The setup is similar to the one in last year's model, but Vivo has upgraded the sensors in both the main and zoom cameras here. During the day, the main cam's photos come out great. Dynamic range is nice and wide, and there's excellent development of highlights and shadows. Colors are vivid and likable, and the auto-white balance is dependable. Detail is great too, with even random textures looking more natural than from most other phones. When shooting people, skin tones are lifelike and look good. The portrait mode adds a touch of extra blur to the already decent optical level separation. The 2x digital zoom photos are also nicely detailed, without significant loss of quality. And portraits at 2x look good too. In the dark, the X300 Pro's main camera continues to take great photos. It exposes well and gives you well-developed shadows while keeping highlights in check. Detail is excellent too. Perhaps the color saturation is a bit much. Moving on to the telephoto camera. The 3.5x zoom photos are detailed, with great contrast and vibrant colors. There's hardly anything that's not to like here. Shots of people also look wonderful. The perspective is flattering. There's a nice level of natural subject separation, and detail is excellent. With a minimum focusing distance of around 14 centimeters, this camera allows for shooting of close-ups. Detail is excellent, and the autofocus backgrounds are nicely soft. In the dark, this camera captures sharp images with great detail, and dynamic range is once again excellent. The colors are a touch oversaturated here, but not as much as on the main camera. If you use digital zoom on top of the telephoto cam, you still get good quality at 7x magnification. But if you need better quality at further zoom, there's also an optional photography kit available. It does not come cheap, but it includes a case with a dedicated grip, which adds additional battery and physical camera controls. Then there's the telephoto extender lens, which, when combined with the native zoom camera, brings you to a 200mm optical zoom. You can use the other cameras while this is attached, but better not, since the long lens is visible in the frame. Still, you can leave the case and grip on, and just remove the lens extender when you're done with it. Here's a look at some long-reach photos we took with the help of this extender. Now onto the ultra-wide cam. In good light, it does a remarkable job outdoors, producing images that are quite sharp for this sort of camera. Colors and dynamic range are great too. At night, the ultra-wide camera's detail levels are just okay, but still dynamic range is great, white balance is accurate, and there's only a touch of oversaturation in some scenes. For selfies, the X300 Pro packs a nice new front-facing camera. It's 50 megapixels and has autofocus. The quality is a clear upgrade over last year. You get sharp selfies with nicely wide dynamic range, and excellent detail in daylight scenes. The X300 Pro can record videos with all of its cameras in up to 4K at 60 FPS. The main and zoom cameras can do 120 FPS slow-mo, and the main cam can shoot in 8K as well. The main camera's 4K footage is very good. Dynamic range and colors are easy to like, and detail is solid, but maybe a bit too heavily sharpened. The telephoto's 4K clips are very good for the most part, but the sharpness leaves a bit more to be desired. And the Ultrawide's footage has great color and dynamic range, and alright detail. In low light, the main camera's 4K footage has very good dynamic range and color rendition, but it's softer than what you get from competitors. The Telephoto does a bit better, with wide dynamic range and good detail, even if it is somewhat grainy. The Ultrawide's clips are noisy, though otherwise not too bad. Video stabilization on the X300 Pro is superb. Clips come out nicely smooth, whether you're walking, panning, or standing still. So that's the Vivo X300 Pro. It's a powerful camera phone that also boasts a great display, a cutting-edge chipset, fresh-looking software, and fast charging. Our main issue with it is the battery life, and it's not even that bad. Just that there are competitors these days that do much better in this regard, particularly for users in the EU. Also, the low-light video quality falls a bit behind the competition. Outside of that, the X300 Pro is worth recommending to anyone looking to shoot excellent photos with their smartphone. Thanks for watching, guys. Here are some alternative camera phones you can find on our channel: the Oppo Find X9 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.